Greetings. Today is Friday, March 27th, and this is your update. Start with some local Peoria area news that I have come across. There will be a town hall meeting, as I mentioned, on Wednesday at 7 p.m., and that will be available across all local media, so all of our major stations, and we'll have various city officials giving you an update from the Peoria area and what's going on as far as the COVID-19 and the different steps that they're taking. 680 plus new cases reported yesterday, which was more than double what had been previously recorded. I think that is in large part due to the increased testing, and so that seems to make sense. They also announced that telehelp is now available through all the hospitals so that people can phone in for different health concerns and not necessarily have to go to a doctor's office, ER, hospital, things of that nature. So that should be helpful as well. There is a press conference again today at 2:30. The main thing we've been waiting on here at the district for school concerns is the ISB guidance on the remote learning moving forward. I have heard, I do not know for sure, but I've heard that ISB, who was supposed to have that document ready early this week, and obviously that hasn't happened, is going to release that after that 2:30 press conference, or so I've been told. I honestly don't care when they release it, we just need it released, and hopefully they get that done. And then that will give us the guidance for Tuesday and beyond. We have been preparing a remote learning plan. It's a 19-page document that went out to staff yesterday. We were kind of holding that. We've had it prepared for a couple days, waiting for ISB guidance, but I wasn't sure if and when it was coming. Obviously, we still don't have it, and that's not something I wanted to spring on staff trying to get prepared for next week at the last minute. So I went ahead and released it yesterday and sent an email associated with that I'll just read it to you so that everyone can hear the same message. Again, this is not intended for isolated audience. This is for parents, teachers, students, administrators, school board. This is all relevant information to everyone. So the email that went out said this: in the absence of guidance from ISB, the Illinois State Board of Education, the district admin team has worked collaboratively with Mr. Andrews, our curriculum director, and his staff to develop what we believe to be a reasonable schedule for synchronous and asynchronous learning. It's our understanding ISB intends to release the guidance in the near future. However, we've been informed that this guidance will consist of a series of recommendations and should not be interpreted as limitations. This flexibility allows for more local control and accounts for the various stages of readiness across the state. As has been previously communicated, we will continue to provide remote instruction to students as we return from spring break. Monday is still under the prior directive from Governor Pritzker as an Act of God Day. Mr. Andrews will be sending a follow-up email that will contain the document plan and will detail expectations for all relevant parties pertaining to the schedule next week. The plan is subject to revision once we receive the ISB guidance and we have the opportunity to cross-reference our plan against the ISB expectations. Mr. Andrews has done extensive research and solicited the input of the entire district admin team as well as the DEA co-presidents, and we are confident that any adjustments to the plan will be minor in nature. Right now, flexibility, creativity, patience, cooperation, and positive thinking will be our mode of operation. Together, everyone achieves more. Acronym team. So that's the information that went out. And again, once we get that guidance from ISB, we'll cross-reference our plan against what their expectations are, make sure it's in line, make adjustments if necessary, and then look to implement that plan starting Tuesday of next week. Mr. Andrews will be in contact with everyone as far as what the expectations are going to be with that once we know for sure from ISB what those expectations are. Along those lines, Alabama has joined the list of schools that are closing for the year, and that list seems to be growing, and that is a question I've received countless times, and understandably so. And, the question is, are we going to be closing for the year? What do you think? Well, I've kind of shared what my thoughts are, but what I think isn't really important. I don't make that determination. I did question, the governor has been going with closures in incremental steps, a week, 2 weeks. And I wonder, if the next step is just to cancel for the year, why isn't he just doing that, so that we can at least know, good, bad, or indifferent, what the direction is, and then just start making our plans and making our adjustments as needed. And I don't know if this is true, but what I've heard is by statute, the governor can only declare a state of an emergency in the state of Illinois for 30 days. So that would prohibit him from closing, through the end of May, because obviously that's beyond 30 days. That's what I'm hearing. Honestly, I don't know if that's true. Some of the other things I'm hearing, the internet connectivity concerns with some people in the area. I haven't heard it in our area, but that was in a regional Peoria area call. There are parts of Peoria that are having issues with the number of people staying home, and the demand on the broadband and the internet width is causing some lag time in the internet, which is obviously going to be an issue if you're looking to do a video conference and it's buffering. We all know how frustrating that can be. Again, there's not much we can do about that as a school district, but I am aware that that is a concern, and if it becomes an issue, we'll obviously have to be cognizant of that and adjust as needed. With that, we are trying to secure some mobile hotspots through T-Mobile. I'm hearing there's like a 2-month wait list or something like that to get those. Again, even if we do get those, we're not going to get enough for everyone. We'll get a handful and try and get those to the people that need them as best as we can. But I'm not hopeful that that will even come to fruition, because of the fact that I'm hearing they're in very short supply. And if there's a 2-month wait list, well, you kind of do the math. That's too little, too late. I had a question about SAT, and obviously those standardized tests have all been canceled since we're not in school. I do not have a date for SAT reschedule yet, and once I get that, I'll certainly pass that along. I know that's an important test, especially for the juniors that are looking to apply for colleges and prepare for that next step in their life, but I cannot give you that information because it is not available yet, which again makes sense under the circumstances. I think they're kind of waiting to see what happens as well. How about we end on some good news? Good news, IHSA sent out information this morning. They are not, as of yet, pulling the plug on the spring sports seasons. Depending on, if and when we go back on April 8th, they can adjust the seasons, maybe shorten those seasons, move the timeline for the IHSA series, and those students that participate in those spring activities have an opportunity, at least still at this point, to participate once we get a determination as far as when we may or may not be going back to school. Another good news item, I don't know if it's good news, it's neutral, I guess. I did get information that the prom venue, which I had not mentioned before because I wasn't trying to call anyone out, but it's Embassy Suites, did get back to us, and they have not canceled our reservation of the venue as of yet. So as of now, obviously it's going to be subject to whatever guidance we're given from the state. If they're still banning gatherings of 250 or more, that'll change. But the venue is still there and it's still available, and they have not canceled us yet. So I guess that's good news for now. The other question, the big one, of course, is graduation. I shared last time that Bradley University has canceled our reservation of the Renaissance Coliseum, so that is no longer available. We do not have a plan as of yet as far as what we're going to do with graduation. I'll just give you my personal opinion. I've said it many times, it's the culminating activity of what we're all about, educating students, and it's a good way just to put the cherry on top, as I said before, to the educational experience for students. I'm committed to doing this. We may have to be very creative. I've heard, as you guys I'm sure have heard, that some colleges are doing it virtually and other things like that. I'm certainly open to that. I'm open to anything at this point. We could have it outside at the football field. Of course, that's going to be subject to weather and also to whether or not you have 250 people or more and social distancing. We will address that as time moves forward. We do have time, which is a luxury at this point. And I just wanted to assure everyone that I understand and appreciate the concern around graduation. I value it as much as you do. I am committed to having a graduation ceremony if possible. The way that we've done it before, something very similar. If that isn't possible, then we'll look at other solutions and get creative. And if we have to do it virtually, then, I mean, we have to do what we have to do. But to me, an option of just doing nothing is not an option. So we will get something figured out. I know it's very frustrating, especially if you're the parent of a senior. You know, you've been looking forward to this for many, many years. And, you know, in 2 years, I'll be in that same boat. And if I were in your situation now, I would be advocating strongly for graduation as well. You've earned that. And so is your students. So we will get something done. Just be patient with us as we work through this and see what limitations are placed on us, and then make adjustments accordingly to move forward with some type of graduation activity. We will get that done. I believe that is all that I have for now. Probably, I've been doing every other day on the updates. I'll probably do another one Monday, hoping that I get this ISB guidance and then can cross-reference that against our plan. In the meantime, once that does come out, I'm guessing, you know, it does come out today, as they've stated, that Mr. Andrews will be in touch with all relevant parties as far as expectations for next week, so you have an idea moving into next week what you're going to be asked to do and expected to do. Again, thank you. I appreciate your patience, your understanding, and we will get through this. We're, as I said, building the plane as we're flying it, but we are doing the best that we can, and I appreciate your patience and understanding. Take care and be safe.